Atlantis and Witsands in the Western Cape. A number of people have been arrested during service delivery protests in that area in the Western Cape. eNCA's Athi Mtongana is keeping an eye on the protests and joins us live now for an update. And Athi, when we last spoke, it seemed the community was on the one side and the police were watching the situation from a distance. I see you are somewhere where the road seems to have seen a lot of protests and a lot of debris on the road. What is the latest you can tell us about the situation now?
That's correct. Tulas, evidence to show that this community has seen violent clashes between the residents of Witsands and the community and the police, rather, that have been deployed into this area. However, right now I can confirm that calm has been restored into this area, but you still have a huge presence of police officers here deployed to maintain law and order. Now, what has been happening here, Tulas, like I said, those clashes between the residents and police, they've ended in some of the shops in and around this area being closed, to an extent that some of the shop stalls where you'd have, some residents selling fruit and veggies on the side being torched. Now, I'm going to move out of shot so my colleague can show you what has happened to some of the stalls here that were affected by the service delivery protests that happened here. Many of them have been torched on this entire road, which has now been blocked off. So residents who are driving vehicles attempting to get into Witsands cannot do that. You still have traffic officers also, on standby, blocking this road, making sure that, calm is restored into this area. So those are the scenes that show that there's been a lot of violence in this community. Tulas, now I'm going to ask my colleague, as he's moving with his camera, to show you that indeed shops are closed here in this community, preventing them to be looted. We've seen Somali nationals just hiding somewhere along these shops, just, in fear of maybe, anything happening to them, but nothing has happened. The shops that are closed haven't been looted. We saw some Somali nationals helping out police and giving them water because they've been here for a very long time now. We are yet to confirm the official number of residents that have been arrested by the police. The residents were saying to us that those that were earlier on arrested were briefly detained by police but have since been released. Now, the residents are still gathered inside the community, being addressed by some of the community leaders that still remain inside the community. Others have now left. They are going to meet with the city of Cape Town to find a way forward. And just a reminder of why this community has seen such violent scenes this morning. They want a community hall to be built for them. There's a private donor that came and approached the community leaders to assist them with funding to build that community hall that would service the greater part of Witsands. It's a community mixed with informal structures as well as RDP houses. They were saying that, they do not have schools, they do not have clinics, and so that those are just some of the services that they're in need of. However, in this case, what really seems to have sparked the unrest here is, the urgency of, residents saying that they haven't seen the municipality coming on board to, agree to allow this private donor to build that community hall that would again service the entire community of Witsands.
So, Athi, usually with this kind of protests, it sometimes boils down to the community and the protesters finding an outlet for their anger. Is anyone there to listen to them, to receive some kind of memorandum? And also, what have you been able to gather in as far as the track record of this grievance around this community hall?
Well, I did ask Tobile Maseti, a community leader that was addressing the residents inside a couple of minutes ago, whether they have taken their grievances forward to the relevant parties that would then assist them. And they did say that obviously taking to the street for them is a last resort. They claim that they have been engaging with the relevant authorities, councillors and the municipality in this case, to be able to, to get them on board, to agree to have a community hall built for them. However, right now they are about to meet with the city of Cape Town and the municipality, I guess, to be able to get a way forward, because I must tell you that these residents are very unhappy. They are very unhappy not only about the fact that services haven't been rendered to them on a fast pace, but also very angry about the number of police officers that have been deployed into this area and the way in which they carried themselves, the police that is, firing rubber bullets at residents, stun grenades and tear gas. In fact, I was able to show the viewers a couple of hours ago a resident who was hit by a rubber bullet on her arm. It showed that that injury was quite deep. It was quite, graphic, but then she's not the only one that was hurt. So those are just some of the scenes and the incidents that have been happening in this community. However, we're hoping that out of that meeting with the city and the leaders, something will come out. They're still out in their numbers. They're saying they will not go anywhere until a way forward is reached.
Athi, thank you. eNCA's Athi Mtongana out at Witsands in the Western Cape, tracking those protests there for us more.